why are obese women more than obese men penalized in the labor market? And so that's really what I set out to learn through my study. No matter what the type of occupation, obese men seem to do just as well. They make as much as non-obese men. They're just as likely to work in physical activity occupations. They're just as likely to work in personal action occupations. But we see a very clear pattern for women. Starting when a woman becomes overweight, she is increasingly less likely to work in a personal interaction communication occupation. And as she becomes heavier, she becomes increasingly less likely to work in a personal interaction occupation. I find the reverse trend for women in physical activity occupations. Again, I didn't see any trends for men, but for women, starting when a woman becomes overweight, she's actually more likely to work in a physical activity occupation, which I have to say, I think goes a little bit against expectation, especially, again, we hear so many anecdotes about overweight and obese individuals not being able to do their job as well or their weight getting in the way. But in fact, what we see for women is as a woman becomes heavier, she's actually increasingly likely to work in a physical activity occupation. So actually, morbidly obese women are most likely to work in a physical activity occupation, even much, much more likely than a normal weight woman. The high physical activity jobs that we see women in are things like home health aides, daycare workers, food preparation, jobs that require you to be on your feet a lot. They don't pay very much money. So historically, physical activity occupations pay less than personal interaction occupations. These are the sort of blue-collar jobs and jobs, and especially for women, these are jobs that a lot of people don't want. Since the Americans with Disabilities Act, Amendments Act, which was passed in 2008, that act, those amendments broadened the definition of what it meant to be disabled. So from the legal perspective, there's been a lot of focus on whether an obese individual is disabled for the purposes of the ADA. I think what my study suggests is that maybe that's the wrong question. Maybe that may not be so helpful for obese individuals, because what seems to be going on in the labor market really seems to be more of a women's issue. It seems to be negatively affecting women and not negatively affecting men. And so it really seems like it's more of a sex discrimination issue, something that may eventually be able to, that we may be eventually able to tie to Title VII, which of course prohibits sex discrimination in employment.